Hello friends, James Stevenson back with another episode of James and Loki's Gems of the Week. As subscribers, you will be the first to see the new Loki's bed. We got Loki a new bed. It's got a thread hanging from it. Let me pull that out of the shot. Hello Loki, lovely buddy. Let's get this little thread out of here. I'll throw this in the trash. Alright, so you got a little bit of extra Loki cam footage there with him watching me walk around the room. So, if you've never seen Loki, James and Loki's Shins of the Week before, I'm just going to go through all the tweets that I liked on X over the previous week and talk about why I liked them. But if the content you're here for is Loki, you can always keep an eye on Loki and the Loki's bed cam right there. We got a little bit of Jamesception going on to begin the episode because the last tweet that I showed you last week was from James Cat, another James, retweeting me with my video of me talking. So we'll keep moving up from that before we lose our minds with the meta nature of all those Jameses. And I'll show you the next tweet that I liked since recording last week's episode. It came from Ashok Elaswamy. Reverse coming soon when the actually smart summon and the FSD models merge together over the next few releases. So, exciting news there. I thought I was going to sneeze, and then I didn't sneeze. I'll probably sneeze in a few seconds. Okay. Here's one from Michael Dell. Super impressive. Tesla FSD version 12.3 is like a human driver. It is. However, I should have just read that. I should have read that in Yoda voice, but I don't really have a Yoda impression, so I'll leave it to your imagination. Frank Oz does it best, of course. Here's Elon Musk. V12.4 is another big jump in capabilities. Our constraint in training compute is much improved, he said early in the week about the constraint. Here's one from WholeMars's catalog. U.S. EV registrations by brand, January 2024. If you think these numbers from Rivian are super impressive because they're more than everybody else, that's because you haven't expanded the graphic yet to see that Tesla is almost the entire bar, 48,757, and the second place. The competition needs a telescope to see Tesla. Ford at 5,429. An order of magnitude, roughly, behind Tesla. And then you don't have to go very far down the list to find people Tesla is 2 orders of magnitude ahead of, like Subaru, Volvo, Porsche Genesis, Polestar, that's Polestar, Lucid, Mini, and then you can't even believe these are listed on here. They're so tiny. With less than 120 vehicles sold each, we have VinFast, Jaguar, Rolls-Royce, Fiat Cruise, Mazda, GMC, BrightDrop, and Ram. One Ram EV. I can't even imagine what Ram EV that might have been. The next tweet that I liked came from Viv at Battle Angel Viv. It's insane how good of a car the new rear-wheel drive Model 3 is. Like it's packed to the brim with cool tech and still costs less than the average new car in America. Slay. So that's a good tweet. If you want to know how to tweet, check out Viv's tweets. She'll show you how to send a text-only tweet. That's a pretty good one there. Here's one from Brian White at FutureAza on X. Everyone who looked at the numbers knew this was going to happen. Elon Musk said so and was ridiculed for opposing high-speed rail. He never did. He was opposed to this boondoggle, retweeting ABC 7 Eyewitness News. When California's bullet train was pitched to voters back in 2008, the cost of linking LA to San Francisco via high-speed rail was said to be about $40 billion, which already sounds like way too much. Officials now say another $100 billion will be needed to complete the project. What The price went up from 40 billion to 140 billion. Ouch. That is not. There has to be a better way, right? You, there's a lot of other stuff you could buy with 140 billion dollars. Wow. Here's one from Don't Bet Against Elon at Steve Hamel 16. I'm just happy 12.3 can finally read a damn speed limit sign in my neighborhood for the first time. He said. Yeah, replying to me, talking about Tesla finally including new, actually smart summon features in the next software release of FSD Beta. But don't get too excited yet, as Green points out, most users are still locked out of those features on the server side. A clever CYA move from the Tesla software development team. So then I made some puns that you can read off your screen. Just pointing out, Green the Only said, hey, these are permissions-based, these features. Not everybody gets them. You have to have permissions assigned to your account to be able to access those features. So most people will not have access to them yet. Here's a post from Rob Maurer that I liked at Tesla Podcast. Hey everybody, Rob Maurer here. Tested FSD v12.3 in downtown Chicago yesterday. 0 disengagements / interventions in the first 30 minutes, despite incredibly dense traffic and pedestrians during St. Patrick's Day festivities. Extremely impressive. I've never been to Chicago on St. Patrick's Day, but I hear it's a nightmare for traffic, with a lot of folks wanting to be in Chicago on St. Patrick's Day. Don't they turn the river green or something? Let me know if you've been to Chicago on St. Patrick's Day before, what that's like. Here's a tweet I liked from Xander Sky at R6Alex on X. This is my mom. She would grab the invisible handle that doesn't exist in a Tesla every time my wife used version 11. In fact, she would complain so much my wife wouldn't use it with her in the car. Below is a genuine reaction from our first ever robotaxi ride home from dinner using V12. So go check out this tweet if you want to see a wholesome, heartwarming tweet about genuine reaction from Xander Sky's mom to V12. Here's one from Sasha Yanshin. In 500 years, aliens revive a man who was frozen in ice. Since 2024, the man asks, where is everybody? Aliens say the human species died out in the year 2180 because the Earth got too hot. Humans drove around in cars that blew up hydrocarbons inside their engines. The man says, yeah, we like the vroom vroom sound they made and the smell of exhaust fumes. And the bigger your engine, the more vroom vroom noise it made. Alien said, okay, but did you not know about renewable energy and electric cars? The man said, oh, we knew. We just thought they were a bit naff and they couldn't drive 500 miles in one go. Clearly a British person wrote this. Aliens say, how often did you drive 500 miles in one go? And the man said, never. It's true. There are no cars you can drive 500 miles at a time that I'm aware of. You're going to have to stop after, 400 miles, even on a very long-range car. But people want a 500-mile range EV, and they want it right now. The alien said, okay, but the government must have known the planet is dying. They must have supported the company making electric cars and encouraged everyone to switch, right? The man said, no, they actually hated the dude trying to make electric cars. The government would actively ignore him and promote the companies that make petrol cars instead. It's so true. There's your second clue that a Brit wrote this post. Not gasoline cars, but petrol cars. The aliens say, right, so the government was corrupt, but what about the media? They must have supported and celebrated the one company making electric cars at scale, right? Man says, no. They actually preferred to make up stories about how evil the boss of that company was and dissuade their audience from switching to electric cars. And the aliens say, okay, now we understand. Humans were just really incredibly dumb. They deserved to perish as a result of their own monumental stupidity. So he got a lot of likes on that tweet. All right, the next tweet comes from What's Inside. Hypothetical, if Cybertruck was created and sold by GM/Ford instead of Tesla and wasn't electric, would consumers like it more or less? Using this fun video clip. Yeah, I don't know. If you could get a gasoline-powered Cybertruck, would that be the hot pickup? Even if it wasn't electric. Maybe so. I don't know. Here's one from Scott Walter, PhD, at Going Ballistic 5. Hey, at Brad S. Ferguson, it did my traffic circle. FSDV 12.3 did St. Armand's Circle in Sarasota last night. St. Armand's Circle is a 5-spoke, 2-lane traffic circle in a touristy area, which means the drivers will do unexpected things. Keep your head on the swivel when you're in a touristy area, because a lot of people who have never been there before are going to be driving through, and a lot of them in rental cars that they've never driven before. So not only do they not know where they are or where they're going, they also don't know how to drive the car they're driving. So be on the lookout whenever you're in a touristy area for people to do dumb stuff while driving. It's one of the huge advantages of FSD. Like, the times that I find FSD most valuable are when I'm someplace I've never been before or I'm totally unfamiliar with, because FSD doesn't care that it's never been there before. It just drives to wherever you want to go. So good tweet here. I'm not going to read you this whole thing, but a lot of good notes here from Dr. Scott Walter talking about FSD V12. Here's one from Final Cut MI at Final Cut Tile. Great job, Don, with a meme here. Elon, let's do a show. Okay, I want a Cybertruck, millions of dollars, and a piece of everything you own, is the stick in the bicycle spokes moment. Then, after crashing, Don screams, "Why do you hate free speech?" So that was the Lemon show. Early in the week, nobody had seen it yet. It hadn't been posted yet. Here's one from WholeMars Catalog at WholeMarsBlog, frequent appearer on this program, frequently featured on James and Loki's Gems of the Week. Okay, this all makes sense now with a screenshot of Jerry Rig Everything. This video is sponsored by Ford. All right, so if you were wondering what all the criticism of Tesla coming from this account was about, that's why. I saw this guy filming at the Cybertruck event. We didn't shake hands or speak or anything, but I walked right past him while he was filming the inspection area of the Cybertruck line. I was also taking photos and stuff at that point. Here's one from Viv at Battle Angel Viv. Banger. This week at XAI will open source Grok, to which Grok replied, weights in bio. If you don't know what the weights are, those are the mathematical coefficients applied by a neural net to thinking about stuff. Here's one from Larry Goldberg at Tesla Larry. What a week, a trifecta. 1, saw Starship launch. Thanks SpaceX for all you do. Got my Cybertruck then. Thanks Tesla for all you do. Downloaded V12. Thanks FSD team for all you do. Very thankful for all these blessings. What a week. Congratulations, Tesla Larry. Hope you like your new Cybertruck and had fun watching Starship launch. Here's one from Mark Anthony at Musk Stay Calm. Mission Beach, San Diego, my Model Y. This was the Model Y that Mark drove me around Austin in after the Tesla event was over, and to and from the after party after I had an hour to lay down. I sent him a screenshot of my phone's health app where the day of the event was by far the most walking I've done in the past year. I think I walked over 10 miles the day of that event because I flew out that morning from Orlando. So I did a lot of walking at the airport, and then I did a ton of walking on site at Tesla's factory, Giga Austin. And Mark was super nice to me, chauffeuring me around town in this Model Y. So great photo of it there. I like that tweet. Here's one from the Limiting Factor at Limiting the, replying to Frederick Lambert. Fred Lambert. Let's click through here and scroll on up and see what he's replying to here. Oh, it's Fred objecting to the strong language that Elon Musk used in response to this Don Lemon tweet and the Limiting Factor just pointing out it's the same language Fred Lambert uses to describe others. So I like that tweet, pointing out the hypocrisy from Fred Lambert, which is not new. If you've been following Fred Lambert long enough, you know he likes to criticize people for doing things that he himself is guilty of. Here's one from Galley at G Filchi. I sold all my Rivian stock. Capital raise / dilution is coming. 9.4 billion of cash as of Q4 23, burning 1.4 billion per quarter. Tesla got to positive gross margin on Model S in 1 quarter. Rivian has had negative gross margins for 8 quarters in a row. Full episode on YouTube. I saw a tweet from Mayur Thakur at Fresh Jiva on the same topic of Rivian's cash burn and negative gross margin, pointing out that a bunch of that gross margin is explainable by one-time items. But if you look at what the one-time items were, they were own goals, like they were avoidable stuff. They were like write-offs of factory equipment. Why is Rivian writing off factory equipment already? They've only been trying to make cars for a couple of years now. It's not inspiring investors with a lot of confidence that they need to already write off a lot of the equipment they had on their line. It's pretty new equipment, so if you're writing it off, that means you can't figure out how to use it to make cars. That's not great, etc. So not financial advice. Do your own research. Maybe you can make a lot of money investing in Rivian. I'm not going to advise anybody I know to go long Rivian. So I was happy to see that tweet from Galley. Here's one from the Short Shorts historian at Tesla Historian. This day in Tesla Q history, just some Tesla short sellers enjoying the dip and shorting at the bottom. All right, so March 19th of 2020, Tesla was at this low point in the trough here. This was also where Stevenson indicator began. I just mentioned Mayur Thakur. He named Stevenson indicator in a reply to just me showing a chart, a Tesla stock chart. And it was funny because I was not the only person who had seen that perfectly straight line, you know, from here to here, right? This line had been observed by lots and lots of people that Tesla was moving up and to the right. So we both found it pretty funny, the idea that I would try to name that after myself. And that's where Stevenson Indicator TM came from. You can go watch a bunch of videos on that. I made a whole Stevenson Indicator playlist that explains, yes, it's a joke. No, it's not a prediction. It's not a stock price or a target. So Tool Grinder said, at this point, I desire to forever be short Tesla even after it goes bankrupt. Tesla Q will invent a way to stay short Tesla into perpetuity. Or they'll have to peel the borrowed shares from our cold dead hands. Flyfordat has in his bio still, I think, will cover my Tesla short at 0. So this guy thinks Tesla is a fraud that will go bankrupt. That's the length of his religious conviction, his dogmatic belief that Tesla is a complete top-to-bottom fraud, a phony company, doesn't make real products, doesn't have real financial results. Once you see the fraud, you can't unsee it. TM. That's funny that he used a TM right after I explained Stevenson indicator TM. Welcome to hashtag Tesla Q. You'll find more fraud soon enough. Here's Jake Tiley, one of the most hyperbolic Tesla Q accounts at Just Trading without a G at the end. Hashtag Tesla below 350 tomorrow on the way to $30 billion market cap, and then BK, hashtag told you. He was also using the hashtag, I'm gonna remember it. Jake Tiley, hashtag I am not uncertain is what he kept tagging stuff back in 2018, 2019, saying Tesla was going to file for bankruptcy imminently. He would say BK filing imminent, hashtag Tesla, hoping that he could cause a crash in the Tesla stock price. Here's one from Thomas Hansen. At Tweet My Inbox, I extend my deepest condolences and sympathies to you. I hope you find better employment before/after Tesla is bankrupt. Before Tesla is hashtag Tesla Q. Best of luck and hope things will get better for you. Retweeting Starshipper at StarshipER1, saying I work there, replying to Thomas Hansen. So Starshipper may have gotten very wealthy off of Tesla stock options working there. Here's one from Warren Radlick, chasing Dream at WR for NYGov. Lemon claims Elon is suppressing his reach on X, over 800K on X, 300K on YouTube. Is Elon suppressing Don on YouTube? That's funny. The Don Lemon video got viewed more than twice as often on X than on YouTube. But Don Lemon says Elon has been suppressing the video. Well, did he go suppress it on YouTube? Because even fewer people are watching it on YouTube. Here's one from Dave Lee, just laughing. What's he laughing at? Well, AI for Everman, at Everman, who I met at the event, which was cool. Fortune Tech, at Fortune Tech, is who he's retweeting here. Boeing CEO, we're going to beat Elon Musk to Mars. Yeah, with what, though? With a can of sardines? Like, how large a vehicle are you going to land on Mars, and will there be any people inside? Are the questions that have gone unasked, I think. Oh, it's a tweet from 2017. I just now noticed that it was from 2017. So sometimes I retweet stuff that's old and then wonder why other people didn't notice that it was an old tweet when the date is right there. But then I'm also guilty of that myself from time to time. I replied, his first draft was, we're going to blow the doors off SpaceX, but he caught it just in time. That's what Dave was laughing at. I'm always happy if I can make Dave Lee laugh. He's great. Can you think of a more genuine human being than Dave Lee? All right. Here's one from Martin Vieca, the VP of Investor Relations for Tesla. Unfortunately, people use plug-in hybrids mainly as gas cars, which means their CO2 emissions are far worse than official EPA or WLTP ratings suggest. Just like officially rated energy consumption of EVs has been getting closer and closer to reality, same should be done for plug-in hybrids. And mild hybrids, right? So, like, there aren't that many plug-in hybrids being sold. They're well outnumbered by pure electrics and by gas hybrids, the kind of hybrid you can't plug in. Excuse me, and look forward to some charts from me coming soon. At least in the US market, the plug-in hybrids are the worst seller by all categories, right? Plain old gasoline combustion engine cars are still the top seller. They're falling rapidly, but they're number one still by a lot. And then in second place, it's almost a tie for mild hybrids and battery electric vehicles. And then in last place are the plug-in hybrids. So yeah, plug-in hybrids emit far more than their official CO2 emissions. When these agencies estimate how much the emissions will be from plug-in hybrids, they make dumb assumptions. They assume that every time these plug-in hybrid owners get home, they plug their cars in. A lot of these owners never plug in their hybrids. They just take it to the gas station like it's a regular gasoline car, right? Some of these folks live in apartment complexes where they don't have a place to plug it in at all, that sort of thing. So when you look at the real world emissions from these plug-in hybrids, they're way higher than the official estimates because the official estimates make dumb assumptions that don't apply to the real world. Here's one from Tesla Goes Plaid Mike at Tesla Goes Plaid. LOL, Toyota sticks the Corolla name on various body styles in different parts of the world. If Toyota includes the Cross in its count, why shouldn't we also consider both the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y as one? Especially since they are essentially two versions of the same car, built on the same platform. Many people have a hard time telling them apart from certain angles. According to Tesla's own data, these two models collectively sold 1.7 million vehicles worldwide in 2023. If we were to follow this logic, then the Model 3 and Y combined outsold the extended Corolla family by about 100,000 units worldwide, 1.74 million for Tesla versus 1.64 million for Toyota. If you include the Cross, which is really the larger version of the CHR SUV, they just put the word Corolla in the name of the model. They called it the Corolla Cross, but it is not on the Corolla platform. Now, of course, if we did the comparison by earnings, oh man, especially earnings per vehicle, Tesla earns way more profit per vehicle than Toyota does. Okay, here's one from Matt Smith. James Catt has a valid point here, and I obviously take quarterly financial results seriously given the effort I put into modeling them, but at some point you have to put the spreadsheet down as an investor and look at the broader thesis. 1. EV penetration will continue to grow and nobody can compete with Tesla on COGS. This implies Tesla will have best-in-class pricing/margin power in a segment which will eventually eat the incumbents. If you don't know what COGS is, this is cost of goods sold. That's the direct cost of selling people the stuff that they get when they buy from you. Excluding shared costs or overhead costs or SG&A or R&D or whatever. Autonomy has huge value just as an ADAS system, an automated driver assistance system, at higher take rates, and frankly ridiculous value if robotaxis become a reality. True. Energy is growing faster than auto, and with better margins. You know Matt Smith is going to let you know about the energy division. Grid scale challenges are getting worse than almost anyone expected, meaning the market for storage is way bigger than most realize. True. Optimus is a massive call option that could make the wild economics of robotaxis look quaint after Tesla already benefits from them internally, right? The first use of these Optimus bots is going to be in Tesla's own factories to do repetitive work, right? If you can train Optimus bots how to pick up wheels and put them on vehicles, well, that's better than having to pay people to pick up wheels and put them on vehicles. Because you're going to get consistency, right? You're going to get exactly the right amount of torque on the bolts that hold those wheels on, right? You're not going to have repetitive motion injuries to the human beings working those jobs. If your robots wear out over time, you can replace the robots. You can't replace a human spine or, arm muscles if they get over exerted trying to lift and carry wheels around and torque bolts onto wheels, etc. So yeah, Tesla will benefit from this optimization first because maybe it costs you, I don't know, 15 grand per robot that you produce. I'm talking about variable costs, not the cost of the first one that you make. The first one you make, if you were to count all of the costs involved in the development, is going to be an extremely expensive robot. But the variable cost, after you've made the first 1,000 of making one more, how much more does it cost you to make 1,001 instead of 1,000? That difference between those two is your variable cost, right? So if it's 15 grand, let's call it, then if you can use that robot for 5 years before it wears out, well, you've saved a lot of money. Even if that robot could only do one shift a day worth of work, they've replaced one person, you would have had to pay, I don't know, at least 50 grand a year too, right? More if you're talking about benefits and stuff, right? I very much agree with James that demand/margins are awful in the short term, but I think those issues pale in comparison to the points listed above. And if you were a Tesla investor, make sure you go and actually experience V12 behind the wheel. It's very important to understand what you're investing in. And hopefully Tesla will roll out V12 wider. I still don't have mine. If anybody is listening, please give me my V12 so I can use it. Retweeting James Cat here at TeslaFanMTL. Maybe we have reached this point, and maybe the stock will actually respond to it. Weirder things have happened. So here are the Tesla investors faced with negative deliveries, revenue, and earnings growth, and no new models for the next 2 years. Slap an FSD on to plug that leak. That's a fun meme. All right, so enough on that topic. Let's go back to Elon Musk, who tweeted Steve Aoki just received his Cybertruck. So good stuff here. He's one of the world's best DJs. Steve
This is a foundation series. I think this is the first Cybertruck. I just got a Cybertruck. Look at this view. This is crazy, man. I can't believe I bought this. It's actually the Cyber Beast. It's a foundation series. This is a foundation series. I think this is the first 1,000 that they made. They call it the foundation series. This is amazing. Yeah. You guys want to check it out? I mean, first of all, just look at this. Boom. This is like got to be the biggest windshield wiper of all windshield wipers. Look how big this is right here. It's massive, man. Wow. I like the Knight Rider vibe. Just this one little light here. There's like literally cameras everywhere. Oh, well, front light is cool. This opens up somehow. That's not a problem. Right here. Yeah. Look at that. That's pretty sick, man. Yeah, let's go inside. Come on inside. It's like you're in a tank, man. This feels like you're driving a tank. Woo! This is epic. Back wheels turn like this. Everything is so like sharp. It's like, you know. Yeah, this is pretty crazy, man. Cybertruck. The Cyber Beast. See ya. See ya.
All right, so there's that video. So if you don't know who Steve Aoki is, one of the world's biggest party starters. Like if he is DJing, it's a party. The party is on when that guy is blaring the tunes to a big crowd of folks. So great to see that. Here's one from Mihai at Mihai PPSC. And we got the contract done and signed in just 2 weeks, which is a world record for us. What's he replying to? Well, it's a tweet from Sawyer Merritt, at Sawyer Merritt, about Ford CEO Jim Farley on adopting Tesla's NACS, North American Charging Standard. Our first charge percent was not competitive with Tesla, which is a very artful way of saying Tesla had a great supercharger network and we did not. It became pretty clear that we could continue to be arrogant, or we could call them and say we really want to do this. I then personally reached out to Elon Musk. So yeah, the quote from later in the video was the same one I was going to comment with, so I gave Mihai a like for having already made it when I arrived in the comments section. Yeah, 2 weeks is real fast. Plus, it's 2 weeks, which has its own standalone meme value anytime you can work 2 weeks into something. it's automatically a little bit funnier for free. Here's one from Elon Musk, live stream of Neuralink demonstrating telepathy, controlling a computer, and playing video games just by thinking. So here's Noland. We saw some videos of him at home and at the Neuralink headquarters, talking to the employees there, saying thank you for letting him be P1, participant one in the program. If you didn't see any of these videos, paralyzed himself in a freak diving board accident, I guess, severed his spinal column at the whatever vertebrae is below the shoulders. So he still has shoulder movement, but nothing below that, which I don't understand how he's able to breathe on his own. He doesn't need a breathing machine, but he's got parents and a brother who take care of him all the time, and now he has a Neuralink implant that allows him get to the get to the point, James. Why do we care about all this background information? Because he has a Neuralink implant in his head, and he uses that to play video games and to use a computer just by thinking about how to move the cursor and by thinking about what to left click or right click. So the way he describes it is it's like he still has use of his hand and he's moving his hand left or right, up or down. And the same way that he would think about performing those actions with his physical hand, if he still could, is how he's controlling that cursor that you see on the screen. Just by thinking about what movements he would want to be making with his hand, it actually moves the cursor around the screen thanks to the Neuralink implant. So fun stuff there. Here's one from Zhao Zhang at David Zhao 365 on X. Took delivery today, Cyber Beast. So great to see people enjoying their cyber beasts who can afford to buy one and be on the very early list of people who own a Cybertruck. Exclusive company these days. Celebrities. A lot of celebrities have already taken delivery of their Cybertruck. And other folks who wanted to get a Cybertruck early have Cyber Beasts. Pretty awesome machine that David Zhao took delivery of. Here's one from Bradford Ferguson, executive producer of this program at Brad S. Ferguson. V12.3 just drove me to work flawlessly. My commute went from me having to disengage the system multiple times to trivially easy for the Tesla to complete. Easy for me to say. So, where Bradford lives, there are lots of turning circles, traffic circles, and that's not the most common kind of intersection in the U.S., most places. So previous versions of FSD trained in San Francisco, where there aren't that many, I gather, traffic circles, didn't handle them that well. But V12.3 apparently is doing pretty great in traffic circles, which is super important before anybody tries using it in Europe, where that is an extremely common type of intersection. They don't do traffic lights as much as we do here in the US. Here's one from Drew Baglino at Baglino. That sounds really fun. What say you? At Tesla Charging. What's he replying to? Well, Tesla Charging began this thread saying new Tesla supercharger, Las Vegas, Nevada, South Decatur Boulevard, 20 stalls, with a very fun picture here showing the perfect alignment of all of these superchargers. They're all lined up exactly the same distance from the curb here, so you can shoot a photo right through them all. Kind of fun. And Drew said, great shot. Thank you, Tesla Charging, for sharing charging art with everyone today. Eli Burton said, I love supercharger art, having captured a similar photo himself previously in the snow. So great photo there from Eli, who replied, can we submit our supercharger art photos. I have captured quite a few great ones over the last 7 years. So we'll see. Ah, there's a good one. Geek Ship, California plate is Eli's car, I guess. Oh, there's a good one captured on the surface of Mars. If you didn't know, there's already Tesla superchargers there. Wink. Uh, why did I wink? Were you going to be confused? Do I have any do I have any subscribers who would have thought there are actual superchargers on Mars? Here's one from Sawyer Merritt. Do you want to feel like Taylor Swift for a day? Drive the Cybertruck. LOL, it's nuts how many people are constantly taking photos and videos while you're driving it. Kids, grandmas, moms, dads, teenagers, etc., they all freak out when they see it. That's what kind of a revolutionary vehicle Cybertruck is. Here's one from Chuck Cook, today's upgrade. Thank you to the amazing Tesla Jacksonville delivery team, including the detail team that spent 3 hours preparing this amazing truck for delivery. Thank you all for your hard work. A special thank you to Brittany, who called me last night at 7:30 p.m. asking if I could take delivery. I went from no-vin to driveway in 18 hours. So awesome to see Chuck Cook has his Cybertruck. I think he and Tesla Larry got them the same day. Here's another one from the Short Shorts historian at Tesla historian. W. Pipperger, 6 years ago. Here's Wolfgang Pipperger. Well, Mario, there you are mistaken. Tesla is a bottomless financial disaster, Wolfie said on March 22nd, 2018. And their losses are not investments, just burning through. If you don't know who Wolfie is, he was one of the most vocal and visible critics of Tesla on Twitter back in 2017, 2018. He was always in the replies to any news about Tesla, telling people the company was going to go bankrupt and that they should stay away from investing in it. Mario replied, Tesla is one of the biggest entrepreneurial successes in history, to which Wolfie only laughed. But a few years later, he was proven wrong as Tesla rocketed to current levels. Proving him super wrong. Here's another one from Bradford. 17 days ago, Elon said Tesla was compute constrained. He also said it was being resolved fast. It's been resolved. As Elon just said last night, Tesla is no longer computer constrained. Something big changed. Care to comment, Elon? With a screenshot of Elon here saying, thanks, that is an accurate assessment. Training computers currently are a limiting factor, but that issue is being resolved fast. With the retweet here of Taylor, Steve Ta, 1093499, 17 days. Sorry, dude, I love Tesla, but I'm not thick. Nothing material could have changed in 17 days. But maybe it did, right? Yeah, 99% of people have no idea, and improvement will accelerate dramatically now that we are no longer AI training compute constrained. Well, yeah, 17 days isn't forever, but you can install a lot of NVIDIA chips if you take delivery of them. Like, it doesn't take months to install chips if you have a dedicated, knowledgeable team capable of installing them and getting them online. You can do that in 17 days, and Tesla apparently has. Here's another one from Sawyer. A guy wearing a bright red Make America Great Again hat walked up to me today while I was in the Cybertruck and said, this is the coolest vehicle I've ever seen. The hate for Elon is ridiculous. Rock on, man. A cool product is a cool product. Yeah. Here's one from Tesla Chauffeur at FSD Live. I just purchased maybe the cheapest Model Y in America, brand new. Sticker price $49,990. White interior incentive $1,000 off. Cybertruck incentive $1,000 off, meaning if you already had a Cybertruck reserved, Tesla will give you $1,000 off to buy a Model Y. Inventory discount $4,000, meaning if the Model Y is already on the lot at the sales center. Federal rebate $7,500 if you qualify. Apparently Tesla Chauffeur does qualify. Colorado Vehicle Exchange $6,000. I don't know what this is, but I do know what the Colorado rebate is. This is an EV sales rebate. So maybe a vehicle exchange is you give them, I don't know what it is. Somebody tell me in the comments below what a Colorado vehicle exchange for $6,000 is. Anyhow, total out-of-pocket cost to Tesla chauffeur, $25,490 for a Model Y. So if you are in Colorado and can similarly take advantage of all of these discounts, you can have a $49,990 sticker price Model Y for $25,490. You're not going to get a better deal than that. I don't think. If you can find a better deal than that, let me know. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt. Here's another ad. Tesla North America. This is a Facebook ad. So did I like the other tweet? Let me click through here. I liked one of these, but not the other. So, breaking, Tesla has rejoined Facebook and is officially doing paid advertisements on the platform. For the first time ever, Tesla originally removed its Facebook page 6 years ago. Facebook has over 3 billion monthly active users, or approximately 37% of the global population. How many does X have? Way, way less than that. Like maybe, an order of magnitude less than 3 billion users. So Elon is getting plenty of reach on X. But X doesn't have most of the world's eyeballs. Facebook doesn't either, but it has a pretty big plurality. 37% of the global population is a lot more of the global population than X has, and not everybody reads news that quotes news that happened on X either. So if you're wondering about the secondary layer effects of X being reported elsewhere, those are also limited in their reach. So good to see Tesla advertising on Facebook with these couple of ads letting people know how affordable Teslas are, correcting the misperception in the market that if you want a Tesla, you have to bring $100,000 to the dealership to be able to walk away with one. These ads doing a great job putting this $36,490 front and center in the ad to hit people with it before they turn away, so they will know that they can afford to buy a Tesla. That's the most important thing to let people know, so that they don't discard the idea of owning a Tesla out of hand as being too expensive. Here's another one from Cyber Mike at Cunning Linguini. Excellent video. I found another YouTube video that had that one from 2015, and then Elon repeating essentially the same talk in about 2.5 minutes in. So he left me a link queued up to the moment in this video when some dummy asked Elon Musk, are electric vehicles going to be supplanted by superior hydrogen fuel cell vehicles? And Elon had to reply to them. I'll just go ahead and play you that video now so that you can hear it.
Talked earlier about things that are abundant in the world. Iron's abundant, oxygen's abundant. Hydrogen's also very abundant in the universe.
In the universe, but not on Earth.
Not on Earth. Have you ever considered, do you think that it has a role to play if we really want to accelerate the transition away from fossil fuels?
No. And
there we go.
I really can't emphasize this enough. The number of times I've been asked about hydrogen, it might be like well over 100 times, maybe 200 times. It's important to understand that if you want a means of energy storage, hydrogen is a bad choice. It has extremely low energy density. It's extremely low density, and so it's actually its volumetric energy density is poor. Its gravimetric energy density is good, but that doesn't really matter because it's its overall density as an element. It's like even in liquid form, we're talking about something that's got the density of styrofoam. So you need gigantic tanks to hold hydrogen in liquid form, or a very powerful pressure vessel to hold it in gaseous form, in which case tanks even bigger. It is a deep cryogen, only liquid at close to absolute zero. So maintaining it in liquid form is incredibly difficult. It does not naturally occur on Earth. So you either have to split water with electrolysis or crack hydrocarbons. When you're cracking hydrocarbons, you really haven't solved the fossil fuel problem. And the efficiency of electrolysis is poor. So you really are spending a lot of energy to split hydrogen and oxygen. Then you have to separate the hydrogen and oxygen and pressurize it. This also takes a lot of energy. And if you have to liquefy liquid hydrogen, oh my God, that's the amount of energy required to liquefy liquid to make hydrogen and turn it into liquid form is staggering. It is the most dumb thing that I could possibly imagine for energy storage.
It is the most dumb thing that I could possibly imagine for energy storage, says Elon Musk. That's pretty awesome. So if you hadn't seen that video before, now you have. I wasn't going to be able to remember all of that to relay it to you, so I just played you the video. And the last tweet that I like this week came from James Locke at ArcTech Inc. My Tesla road trip from Hay River, Northwest Territories, Canada, north of the 60th parallel back to Los Angeles, California, starts tomorrow. Just doing a 3-hour leg tomorrow to High Level and staying the night there before starting my 3 longer days back home to my family. So we got some more updates from James in the comments that I will show you. First, he was asked by Chansu Bayan, got your V12.3 yet, James? Infuriatingly not on the vehicle that he's going to be driving for the next 4 days. All day long, every day. Not on the S I'm driving south. Both cars in LA have it, so that's something. But he'll be doing videos and testing it out for sure once he's back. So after driving back to LA from as far north as you can drive in California, Hay River, Northwest Territories, he'll celebrate by driving around LA in LA traffic. That's so funny to me. Was there something else in here? Oh, do you charge at the Best Western in High Level? Not a lot of chargers up there. Curious what route you take. Asked someone who knows the area, named Joe. Yes, Best Western in High Level, CCS 50 kilowatt charger in Wanham, AB, Alberta. Then hit the supercharger in Edson, and I am on the supercharger network again. Can't wait for the Valley View and Whitecourt superchargers to be open in the next month or so, is his guesstimate. So good stuff there from James Locke. And he's my favorite person to summon to a conversation where somebody says, yeah, well, you live in Florida, or Teslas were only built to work in California where it's always warm. They won't work if it's cold. Well, guess what, Sparky? Look at this map. Look where Hay River, Northwest Territories is. Like, you are almost in the Arctic Circle. Look at what the best-selling car in Norway is. It's a Tesla, right? It gets pretty cold in Norway. I think James Locke is further north than most of Norway here, above the 60th parallel. But yeah, that's a long, long way. I mean, at this scale, you have Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic on this map. Like, this is Yukon territories. You don't quite have Alaska in the frame, the way this picture is framed up. But if it had been panned a little bit more center, it would be there. So yeah, that's a long, long trip into the cold reaches of northern Canada. And that's my video for today. And so I'll check back in with Loki one more time to see that he is up and alert and listening for noises in the other room. Before I outro by saying thank you for being a supporter of mine. I appreciate your support. Whether you're supporting me through Patreon or on X or by joining my YouTube channel, as my 2 executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com did. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next one.